It looks like it's going, if I understand course right, it looks like this is going south.
It looks like it's going, if I understand course right, it looks like this is going south.
You may know him from his own YouTube channel, Going South, although he seems to be going north every time I talk to the man. But his YouTube channel, Going South.
Yes.
We had Jeremy
Yeah,
Corbyn.
everything's going south. Yeah,
Everything
sure.
is
It's all
going
going
south.
south, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's going south, but that it's not all or nothing. It doesn't mean that it goes south until everything completely vanishes.
Yeah, but do you think
right? Which many people can easily say that it's all going south. There's absolutely nothing we can do.
Hello and welcome to this fifth melt season update for 2021, and this episode is about Arctic sea ice volume. So we've basically had 3 more weeks of volume data up to the 15th of May, and you can see the 3 latest weeks of 2021 here, down here, and the 3 first weeks of the melt season are over here. And in general, you can say that we've had actually 2 weeks of net increase, these negative numbers, in the first 3-week period, and the 4 other weeks have been net melt of sea ice volume, and that's the 3D volume, the full physical ice stretching down into the water, not just the surface extent. And the first of these 3 weeks was pretty bad melt, only 99 square cubic kilometers, and the 2 last weeks have been slightly better, a doubling to 203, and then 401 cubic kilometers net melt in the last of these weeks, up to the mid-May. And you can also see that the color code, if you want to find out about the color code, you can watch episode 4, which goes all into that. Can of worms, and but in general you need to have yellow level or red level melt for the duration from here on out of the melt season in order to have a blue ocean event. And then what's the blue ocean event? That's a term that covers the late summer sea ice situation, and you then have, in volume terms, you have less than 1,000 cubic kilometers of sea ice left in the Arctic Ocean. And there are a lot of misunderstandings about what a blue ocean event, or BOE, is all about. It's not an ice-free Arctic, obviously, because you still have loads of glaciers and major ice sheets, like the Greenland ice sheet. So it's not like the Arctic is free of ice. Even if you have a BOE, you only have a virtually ice-free seascape, or the Arctic Ocean is virtually free of ice, and then only for down to 1 single day. So it's not like, you hear people talk about an ice-free summer. This is September we're talking about, and maybe only 1 day in September, so it's not like the whole summer is ice-free, even if you have a BOE. So that's sort of the ice part of it, it's still a lot of ice left on land, and it's still a lot of ice left in the summer. Even the summer you have a BOE for most of the days. It's gonna be a lot of ice left in the ocean, and the other thing about the BOE is that when you have it, it will only be like a week or two before it starts refreezing. So it's not like it stays ice free for very long, even in the ocean. So right. So on top of that, it's a BOE is not the end of the world. It's not even the end of the civilization. It's and it's not a tipping point. A lot of people think it's a tipping point because everything that they think is scary, they say that's a tipping point. But technically, it's not a tipping point. It's just like your cup of coffee hitting the floor after it tipped a little bit before that. So if you have, like, say, a tipping point in the past century causing the ice to disappear faster and faster, then the ice in the ocean hitting zero or virtually zero, that's just a consequence of a prior tipping point, right? So, but it's kind of a milestone on the way down to a full societal collapse, of course, and it's a milestone for the climate situation, but that doesn't mean that all the animals and polar bears living in the Arctic Ocean die on the day you have a virtual ice free. It's more like an arbitrary technical limit of 1,000 cubic kilometers or 1 million square kilometers of sea ice for the extent. But anyway, we are tracking whether or not this is going to be the summer that will end up with a blue ocean event, and in order for it to end up with a BOE, you'd have to have yellow or red level melt in average for the rest of the weeks, down this line here. And if you have like lower melt than that, like let's say green level or light blue level melt, you won't have it. And even some cases, if you have the lower end of the yellow level melt, you won't have a BOE. So you kind of need to have red level melt, but the high end of the yellow level melt will also carry you through to a blue ocean event. Okay, so up here we have the days of these 3 weeks, and you can see it's not very high melt. 44 is one of the highest you see, and then like 58, 77, but that's still only green level melt. So and you see when you summarize it, you get a light blue week here and 2 green weeks. So these were making it harder to get the virtual ice free, and in order for it to be even half exciting for the rest, we will have to go up to the yellow at least for the duration. And yeah, what more can we say? If you compare to the other years on this chart, you have 2 red level melt weeks listed here for 2012 and 2019. Of course, they didn't get to a blue ocean event, so just having 1 red level melt week isn't enough. It's not going to cut it. You have to have it on average. That means that you can have some bad melt weeks in between, as long as you take back what you lost with a higher melt in the other weeks, right? So yeah, so the overall biggest melt day you can see here is like 147 for 2020 and 2012, and but you know, as I said, not even 2020 went down to a blue ocean event. So this is if we get it in 2021, it will be the very first time we have it, like in 3 million years or something. So that's what we're tracking here, and yes, we follow the data. Somebody in comments was a bit disappointed, I guess, because we're so boring that we only follow the data and report what the data is saying. We're not sort of losing contact with the ground or flying high with big, scary proclamations. We're actually seeing from week to week what the ice is doing, and if it's not doing anything special, we're not panicking. So maybe we're gonna panic and do some more drama-filled reports later in the season. But you know, for now, it's not at all any reason to lose the calm. And yeah, because you see it's like light blue and green level melt mostly, and that's not gonna take us there. Okay, so for another 2 weeks, take care and don't get the COVID, and then we'll be back with the next melt season update with Extent, CS Extent, and yeah, let's just hope it's gonna be a little bit more drama-filled start of the May-June part. We're coming up to the summer solstice on the 21st of June, and that's when it's when the sun is, you know, melting the most or shining the strongest on the Arctic part of the planet. And in general, if you don't do a lot of good melt work in June and parts of July, you're not gonna get there. So it's these are very, very crucial weeks for the entire melt of the season, and we'll see if we can sort of get back to a more interesting and competitive melt track record. Okay, bye.
It looks like it's going, if I understand course right, it looks like this is going south.
It looks like it's going, if I understand course right, it looks like this is going south.
You may know him from his own YouTube channel, Going South, although he seems to be going north every time I talk to the man. That his YouTube channel, Going South.
Yes.
You know, we had Jeremy.
Yeah,
Corbyn,
everything's going south. Yeah,
everything
sure.
is
It's all
going
going south, right?
Yeah,
Right.
So,
it's going
so,
south, but that it's not all or nothing. It doesn't mean that it goes south until everything completely vanishes.
Yeah, but do you think
right? Which
people,
many people can easily say that you know
Yeah.
it's all going south. There's absolutely
Okay.
nothing we can do.